Okay. So last time we went through this, all this, remember the burger paragraphing? Okay. Topic sentence with now. I really want you to remember, because for topic sentences is for if you have a burger structure for each of your paragraph, your writing will be much more superb. Okay. Yes, that's why topic sentence, elaboration, examples, and concluding statement. Okay, and then you surely can write much more words. And then all these sample introduction. Okay, how to write introduction. With introduction, it's like a funnel from broad to narrow it down to your topic. Okay, it's like that. And then all these vocabulary, and then we go to this page. Okay, go to this page. Now there are 4 sample introduction. Okay, you see, we'll try to tell you how to write a very good introduction. First, we go through the topic. Now, you are a regular reader of the South China Morning Post. Now, recently you have read an article concerning a social problem in Hong Kong, and you are urged to respond to it. Now, choose one of the social problems in Hong Kong as your topic. Now, write a letter to the editor discussing the problem. And you may also want to talk about the reasons for the problem and provide at least 3 possible solutions to the problem. Do not write any address. Okay, sign your letter, Chris Wong. And one reminder now about the format. Now, in addition to elements of a typical introduction, in a letter to the editor, remember, in a letter, it only applies to letter to the editor. In a letter to editor, you should state the purpose of writing. You see the paragraph, there are 2 paragraphs. The first paragraph is only states the purpose of writing. The second paragraph is the introduction. Okay, why you're writing. So don't forget that. And the attention getter shows the gravity of the problem so as to arouse the reader's concern. Okay, all right. So, dear editor, this is about aging. I'm writing in response to the article published on 20th February 2012 regarding the problem of aging population. Now, this is stating the purpose because you have read an article about this and you want to make some response to it. This is the purpose of writing, not introduction. Okay, second paragraph. All right. Now, remember, for introduction, you have to narrow it down from broad to specific. Okay. Now, among many social problems in Hong Kong, aging population is the one we tend to overlook. Okay. So really overlook. Now, for the word overlook, it tells you something. Okay. Now, according to a recent survey, the number of citizens at the age of 65 or above will take up 25% of the total population in Hong Kong by 2031. This is quite serious. If you think about this, if there are 1/4 of the population over 65 in any society, what kind of problem will that create? What kind of problem? You're studying geography. You may know that. First of all, older people need what? Money, yes, you need money support. Okay, they may not be able to work anymore. They need support. Or if the family cannot support, who is going to support them? The government. And also, older people need what? Yeah, healthcare. Okay, medical care, all these. That's why this will be a big problem. And now, if the population over 65 constitute 25%, it means that people at the working ages are. The numbers are relatively lower. Okay, but these people have to support them. Understand? So that will be a serious problem. So we'll take up 25% of the total population in Hong Kong by 2031. This now you need to add something, add some adjective to tell the seriousness of the situation. Drastic. Okay, you need some sort of adjective to address the seriousness of the problem. Drastic. Growth in the elderly population implies, it's not explicit. Some implied. Do you know the meaning of implies? Okay, 隱含a decrease in labor force. Okay, no, fewer people working. A sluggish. What's sluggish? Yes, slow economic growth, and increase in government health expenditure. Okay, so these are the problem associated with what? With this aging population. Okay, and then the last sentence. The last sentence tells the direction of your writing. To tackle the problem effectively, we need to first take a look at the causes of the problem. Then you know what you're going to discuss in the coming paragraph. Okay, so we need to first take a look at the causes of the problem. Okay, first one. Now, first, what did the writer use? Statistics first. Okay, and then use some adjective to try to explain the statistics. Okay, don't just give the stat without any explanations, because the readers may not be as sharp as you. Okay, first one. Second one, also aging population. Now, dear sir, I refer to the editorial. Okay, editorial. Do you know what is an editorial? Vinci, I saw you nodded your head. I assume you know. What's it in Chinese? Editorial. Anyone? Yes, what's that? Which part? Yes, I know. Yes, but which part? 社論. Okay, 社評. What is it? Is the viewpoint of that particular newspaper or magazine? All right, understand? 社評. Usually, for example, it depends on paper. In Britain, there are some newspaper targeting middle class, some paper targeting lower class. Okay, but lower class, they might say the editorial may say, oh, the government needs to spend more, okay, on welfare. But for what about the middle class? No, okay, something like that. So I refer to the editorial, aging population, the future of Hong Kong, dated 1st March. Now you need to have a date. Why? To tell the readers where they can find, they can refer the article. If I want to read the article, I can go back to that issue and find the article to read. Okay, and would like to share my view on the issue and offer some possible solutions. Okay, now remember, this is not introduction. This is the purpose of writing only. And then second paragraph, aging population is one of the more serious social problems that Hong Kong society has to tackle. For its effects are devastating. What's the meaning of devastating? Yes, really sad. Or maybe you fail your exam, or you got dumped by your boyfriend. Then you got really sad, devastating. Okay, to the economy this time. Okay, aging population is constituted, not causing. Okay, it's just like giving you a definition by demographic. Now, demographic means 人口學. Okay, demographic change of a country's population towards greater age. Here, this writer tried to give you the definition first. Okay, now generally it is more advanced in the most highly developed countries or cities like Hong Kong. Okay, usually if for countries like India, have you ever studied population pyramids? Do you know what I'm talking about? Population pyramid? No, not one of you. There's surprising. Okay, really surprising to me. This is it. Okay, now if a population pyramid is like this, what does it mean? Most people are of younger age. Most people. Okay, this is developing countries are like that because they've got a lot of children. Okay, however, for somewhere like Hong Kong, I see whether I can find Hong Kong. It's not like this. Now, here's Hong Kong. Can you notice any special things to tell you? First of all, more females. Okay, and here the somewhere between 15 to what, they've got more people here. But however, you can see the trend is the aging population is getting more serious here. Okay, the higher it is, the older they are. Okay, this is called population pyramid. Okay, I suppose you have studied. Yeah, what? I just forgot because it looks familiar. Oh yeah, okay, yes. So Where am I? Where was I? Okay. Now, generally, it is most advanced in the most highly developed countries or cities like Hong Kong, just like the graph that I showed you just now. Now, there is a prediction that by 2031, okay, the number of citizens at the age of 65 or above will take up 25% of the total population in Hong Kong. Okay, now this phenomenon in Hong Kong society hints, this sort of verbs, hints, just like implies in the above one, that the labor force will be trimmed. Now, trimmed means just like cut, but sharply, trimmed sharply, okay? And a sluggish economic growth may follow as a subsequent consequence. Okay, subsequent consequence. Other than that, the cost of healthcare for the old population will put greater pressure on public finances. Okay, this is obviously not a future that we desire. And before we can solve the problem, we've got to know the risks of the problem. Also, the last sentence tells you what you are going to, what the passage is going to tell you. Okay, these are very, very good introductions, very clear. Okay, they look like they are from a magazine or something. All right. Okay. Number three is hidden youths. What is it in Chinese? Hidden youths. 隱青. Let me tell you something really. Yeah, I've heard the story really serious. There was a man or a boy at that time. After his A-level exams, he didn't do really well, and then after that he didn't go on to have study. He went to find a job somewhere and work for several months, then quit. And then from then on, he stayed at home. Okay, so at that time, his mom was still there. Okay, his mom was protecting him. His father was furious because I had a son, and basically he is useless, staying at home all day long, and we had to still support him as an adult. Okay, so it was like that after 10 years. Every day he is stuck at home. He even installed a digital lock as a door lock of his room, digital lock, so that no one can enter. Yeah. Yes. And then later, his mom passed away. So the one protecting him was gone. Okay. And just he was stuck with his daddy only, his dad and him. And one day, which was really sad. One day, when his dad was having dinner, for no reason at all, he suddenly came out from his room and went to the window and jumped. He was about 30 at that time. Okay, so you wouldn't understand this sort of people. Okay, and I actually have read something like online, I read an online post. Someone like, "Hey, today I finally make a successful attempt." So what was that? People were asking, what was that? I actually went to McDonald's to order something. And then you know how he orders out. He passed a slip of paper to the cashier. He didn't actually say it. He did pass a slip of a note to that guy saying that I want this. Like social anxiety. Yes. Yes, extreme social anxiety, extreme. Okay, so these are called hidden youths. Okay, now dear editor, now recently I have read a news title. Okay, that this is a wrong grammar. Okay, a piece of news. Okay, news is uncountable. Title: Rising Trend of Hikikomori. This is actually, you can look it up in a dictionary. This is Japanese. Okay, because which country got the most hidden youths? Yes. Okay, Hikikomori means a person. You Google it later. This word. Okay, I'm sure you can find a lot of video on this. You should be careful. Okay, a person who avoids social contact, or the abnormal avoidance of social contact. Abnormal. Okay, avoidance of social contact. This is Japanese. Okay, the rising trend of hikikomori in Hong Kong. All right. You can copy down the definition if you want. Okay. Now, the rising trend of hikikomori in Hong Kong from China Daily dated the state. Now, this news came as an alarm to Hong Kong people, especially to those who have their sons and daughters in their teens. Now, in view of this, reasons and solutions should be revealed for this worrying phenomenon in Hong Kong. Okay, this part as what purpose of writing plus a bit of introduction, a bit. Okay, and then second paragraph. Reported by Christian Service in Hong Kong, there is an estimation of 6,000 hidden youths in Hong Kong. 6,000, is it a lot? Okay, however, you go on to read. However, the actual number may be far more than the estimated, as the 6,000 is based on figures provided by schools. Okay, while most hidden youths are school dropouts. What's the meaning of dropouts? Yes. Okay. Let me tell a story about Ben. I don't know whether I've told you or not. I've got a Band 3 student at that time, and he was in Form 4 or something. Okay, and then you know what he said? He said, "Oh, so what are your students? What are your classmates like?" I don't know. Some of them just disappear after the first week. Disappeared. Okay, in the first, their names are on the class register, the book. However, they just disappear. What I said? What your teachers? What has your teachers done? Nothing. Okay, so these students may not be, they are reported or they are recorded as attending a school, but still they're not. Yes. Could be psychological problem with medical proof in the case of your school, I think. But for those schools, maybe they couldn't even reach their parents. They may live in public housing estates, gambling all day long. Okay, or I don't know, maybe they are in prison or something. You know, they could be very complicated. It's not like your mom's daddy. Okay, not like me. Okay, so their life you can't even understand their lives. Okay, so that's why I decided that. So school dropouts. Moreover, now most people have a misconception towards these teen hermits. Now, hermit is using a very, very fascinating word to describe this. Hermits means 人士. Okay, let's try to make them look. Okay, hermit crab. Okay, because of their armor. Okay, they look like armor like hermits, just the middle ages, those knights. Okay, now they may think those hikikomoris will not participate in any activities. Nevertheless, not here at first. Nevertheless, a majority of them do not totally lead an idle life. Surfing the net, watching TV, listening to music, and reading comics. Of course, I know they do. Okay, all right. Now, some even think about their future. Okay, the future. What should I eat tomorrow? Okay, yes. Yet is just like a twist like this. The major problem faced by those hidden youths is the nearly or totally social withdrawal. No contact with other people. Even you can see them. Last time I saw some of them. Last time, about 3 to 4 years ago, there was a London bus in Hong Kong, the actual red London bus in Hong Kong. And then I brought my son to go and take a look, okay, in one try. And I saw next to us, also waiting to take a photo. You see the two of them. You just by looking at them, you know they've got problems. Some sort of, you know what I mean, okay? And one of them, a man asked another woman, which is also the same type, okay, and to take a photo for him, and then they take turns to take photo for each other. They didn't know they didn't know each other, but you look at them, you know they are just like very old. Okay, you can see them, all right? So I think they're quite a lot. All right. Now, have you noticed that after reading the introduction, you will want to go on to read? If your introduction is functional, okay, it's not like please don't ever copy your topic as the introduction. I don't know whether I told you, because you are still in junior form. I don't know whether I've told you these stories. I saw a Form 6 girl at that time from Kowloon Tong School. You know Kowloon Tong School? Secondary school. Yes. Carlton Primary School is very good school. What about the secondary school?
Not really.
No, really bad. You know what they asked me? Sir, what's the meaning of the word department? What?
Well, that's the last.
Yeah, Form 6. Department. Oh. And then another student. Hey, sir. I've got a really difficult word from writing. I don't know what it means. Very difficult. I said, so what word? It's more something. Moreover. Okay, so that's Kowloon Secondary School.
Before when I was in KTS, like primary school, the secondary section came over to help for some activities, and then they were like teaching us English.
It's teaching you English? Oh no. So. Oh no, go. Their English is so bad. You know, is it their student? Oh, some is just like some of them say, oh sir, Mr. Fu, I failed my mock exam. You know, DSE mock exam, school mock exam. So can you take a look at my paper? I said, yes, bring them. I'll take a look. And then I turn it over the first page. Oh no. Dear article. He actually wrote that down.
So he was supposed to write dear editor, but then he wrote dear article.
Do you know why?
No.
Because to him, he actually, I think he knew so little English. I think the topic was like write an article, blah, 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 about blah, blah. He thought he knew the word write, but he didn't know the word article. Oh yes, write a letter to a person called what? Article. So that's why the article. Then I knew why he failed. You know what? And then later he said, right before DSE, hey Mr. Fu, I have made the decision. What? I want to quit now. What? This DSE is coming in the following week. Yes, I think I want to take a year off, and I will take the DSE again next year.
Did you take the DSE?
I don't know, no idea. Okay, and then he just disappeared. Okay, that's the article. Okay. Yes, a counter similar. Another school called Mwa in Sanpogong. Okay, also band 3. It was a band 1 school in the past, and now become band. Yes, yeah, I know. So these people, I like that. All right. Number 4, online privacy. Dear editor, I'm writing to respond to the article published on 28th February 2008 regarding the disclosure. What's disclosure? 公開 of privacy on the internet. Okay, Hong Kong is a modern city, and technology has become part of our life. Among all kinds of high-tech products, obviously the internet affects us the most. Now we are used to shopping on the net, making friends, and doing research, etc. The internet brings us convenience, but this convenience walks hand in hand with dozens of problems. Here, certainly got to focus still on the drawbacks. Okay, abuse of the internet affects the city so much that it becomes a social problem. Okay, so this is the last one. All these are really good introductory paragraphs, right? And we go on. Okay, now attach here. I'm going to give you 2 examples. Okay, but let's read the topic first. Now, nowadays, there is a common trend for married couples to have only one child. Who among you, who is only child? 2 of you. Not Vinci. You have a younger sister? Okay, and not me. I'm the eldest brother. I have another brother. One brother is 5 years younger than me, and another brother is 12 years younger than me. Okay. Yes.
My cousin is 10 years younger.
Who?
One of my cousins is 10 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And then my other cousin is 15 years younger than me.
Yeah, I actually see in China, because China suddenly had second child policy. In the past, they just let couple to have only one child. That's why I actually seen the brother is 16 years old, and suddenly got a little baby brother, really baby brother. Okay, and then wow, look at my baby! Yes, I've got a brand new baby. Yes, just like that. Okay, about when I went to China in 2016 at that time. Okay, so Write an essay discussing the advantages and disadvantages of one-child families to the upbringing. What's upbringing? Now, upbringing means, for example, whether you've got education, whether the parents actually educate them, 教養, okay, 家教, that sort of thing, upbringing of children, and sharing your opinion on being the only child or a child with siblings in relation to your own case. Give your essay a title. Okay, so now, first of all, I'll give you the sample first. The sample. Give me a second. This is my son. Now, okay. I have always hoped that my brothers and sisters will disappear. Now, this is just like a twist. Okay, the twist. Why do you want to say that? And whenever I was doing revision, they found some program too good to be missed. Once I bought a pair of boots, but the next day I found them on my sister's feet. Has that happened to you? No, not you too, and not you too, and not me at that time. You know why?
Age difference.
Yeah, age difference. Okay, all right.
My sister is like 21 this year, and then my sister steals her clothes.
Yeah, okay, yes, that could be a problem. Notwithstanding these trivialities, now being the only child is not at all a blessing. Okay, suddenly the last sentence is a twisting. Oh, but having siblings actually is something good. It means that. Okay, second one. Now, many people deem that having a big family with children running around their home is a wonderful picture. Okay, but I think the other way. This is really short and powerful. Okay, now married couples now is the third one. Married couples nowadays are having a hectic life, it means busy life, and work around the clock for a living. And they tend to think that having only one child is more than enough in respect to the upbringing of their child. However, I totally hold a different standpoint from them. And you see, if your introduction can be like twisty like this, okay, the readers will get intrigued and they want to go on to read. Okay, if you're writing, I know you're still in Form 3. Okay, if your writing can be really professional, and even the teacher is get, wow, I really want to go on to read, then your writing will be successful. Okay, now the fourth one. Imagining you are the only child in your family, of your family. Now you will be leading a lonely life all along since you were born. Now, when you were young, you would always want a sibling as your playmate. Have you? Have you? Okay. In your case, you don't have to because you have a sister. Okay. And when I remember when I was about 3 to 4 years, I remember. My mom told me, okay, that I wanted to have a brother. And now, as an adult, I rarely talk to him. Once a year, my brother. Okay, but when you were young, you would always want a sibling as your playmate. When you go older, you would need a sibling to share the burden of taking care of your parents. Okay, people who have siblings may never fully understand the inner feeling of these only children. Okay, the question here is, do we actually need siblings? Okay, so these are the four questions. For introductions. Second question, next page, which I want you to do. Okay, a recent survey was conducted by the University of Hong Kong on the sleeping patterns of more than 1,500 adolescents aged between 12 and 19. It is revealed that most of them find it difficult to fall asleep. Do you? You know what? As you get older, I still think of the time when you were in primary school. Did you have any problem sleeping? Why? Because you were worry free at that time. When you get older, say reach your puberty, Okay, and then you get all sorts of worries, say maybe academic, social life, later love life. Okay, that's why you have that sort of worries in your mind, then you can't sleep well. Okay, it is revealed that most of them find difficult to fall asleep. Write a letter to the editor commenting on the issue. Discuss the factors which contribute to insomnia. You know insomnia? Okay, and sleeping problems among young people in relation to your own experience. Make at least 3 suggestions on how to improve teenagers' quality of sleep. Okay, do not write any address. Sign your letter, Chris Wong. Can you write the introduction now? I give you 10 minutes, which is more than enough. Come up with an introduction. I'm going to show you some example, just like this. Okay, but not now. So say that again.
Doesn't have to be like a response to like your editorials.
Yes, you have to have it, but maybe you skip that part first. Okay, you just write the introduction. You should have a purpose of writing, just like here, just like here.
So I don't have to write. I am writing in response
No.
to them. So
Okay.
I just start with
Just the second paragraph. Okay. Of course. Are you feeling a bit cool?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Let me know. Have you ever suffered this problem? Not able to sleep? Yes. For whole month? see. Okay. That's good. Remember, the last sentence is you read the topic. What you are going to discuss in this topic. So you want to talk about the factors, okay? Factors. It's okay. It's not bad. Okay. But I think you have the ability to make it more intriguing. Okay, this is a standard, this is good. Okay, well, no problem in English. And then you have fulfilled all the requirements, but not superb. Sorry. Okay.
I just can't think of anything else.
I know. It was so embarrassing in the last lesson, in the first lesson, in my first lesson just now.
Like Andy's lesson?
Yes. Sat in the middle of it, I had to go to toilet. Okay, this is the second time that happened to me when I was having a lesson. It's a bit okay. Just like I'm about to talk about something important, then I found myself, no, I couldn't concentrate anymore. Okay, I had to go.
Which teacher forgot to have like a lesson yesterday because they were listening for like before the OLP.
Oh.
And then we were waiting for the teacher for like 35 minutes.
Oh, why?
He arrived like 10 minutes before the lesson.
What any reason that the teacher gave?
He forgot and he was busy with schoolwork.
Oh, really?
And I was lying in my bed taking a nap for like 30 minutes.
Usually for English, we see dark patches. That's like you don't need the long sentence. You don't need the long sentence. There's no need. Okay, it's okay now. This one. This one? Is it coffee? Is it coffee?
Just chocolate.
Yeah, but for chocolate, I think you can just buy your own chocolate powder to make it.
It's like different.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I envy her. Seriously.
I had like a conversation on DGS being mainstream with my friends.
Everything, yeah. But I think some of them, okay, is because of the parents. You can see that it's because of the parents. The parents are like that, their daughters will be like that. The parents is like, excuse me, is this DSE education? Yes. Yeah, my daughter studies at DGS. Is there any class suitable for her? That's so bad. I think usually these sort of students are not that good. But they think they are very good.
Usually that group is like either the sports team or the orchestra. Because my friend told me for like the orchestra. 佢哋有一種好奇怪嘅仇恨啦，係本身其他學校睇唔起佢哋咯，覺得自己要贏，要有嗰種氣勢喺度。
Okay, Missy? Thank you. I could still not be full. Okay, now, but let me remind you something important. Okay, which is something you might have forgotten. Is now the ending of your introduction, the last few lines should be about what you are about to discuss. Here, what you should be discussing following is what the factors, the reasons contributing to insomnia. Why? So why did that happen to me? What are the reasons behind? Something like that. Okay. Is there a way, and then you add, is there a way out for that? Okay. So let me show you some examples. That two examples. Okay, here. Now, dear editor, I'm writing to express my opinion on the sleeping problem which adolescents in Hong Kong are having. Okay. Now, in these two cases, they're combining the purpose of writing with the introduction together in one paragraph. Now, as more and more of the young people are suffering from insomnia and sleeping-related problems, there is an alarming issue which deserves to be focused on. I believe it's time for us to do something in order to improve their quality of sleep before it's too late. It's okay. Yours is something like that. I want to say that your introduction are good, really good. Okay, even if you finish the writing, I think that from my prediction, as a DSE as a DSE marker, I think you can get at least a 4 level. Okay, so let me discuss the second one first. The other term, I'm writing to express my worries towards the sleeping patterns of adolescents in Hong Kong. As a parent myself, I'm particularly worried about the grim health situation of the teenagers who will be the leaders of our community in future. As we are all well aware of the deplorable, facts that more and more teenagers have been suffering from insomnia and other sleeping problems due to their sleeping patterns, it's high time we should do something to save the health of our young generation from worsening. Okay, all right. So, if you can, you finish your writing at home later. Okay, because you have already got a very good start. You're going to finish your writing later, not now. All right. So, have you got the handout? So today we are going to talk about something new. I know. But your school wants to teach you some old school stuff. Okay, really old school. My teacher, I talked to my colleague. What's that? Play what? I said, it looks like precise, but not precise. It's French word, crazy. Okay. I also hated that. When I was in secondary school, my English wasn't good. So what I did was just like I tried to cross out some preposition and stuff, which wasn't right. Okay, at that time wasn't right, and I didn't do well. And now, after reading this book, I know how to do it. Okay. Now, first of all, this is called how to say this word. Let me tell you.
Crazy. Crazy.
Just like crazy without the S sound. Okay. You see this crazy. Okay, crazy. It's French. Okay, not English. And then now crazy, the definition. What is a crazy? Why is my version different? Wait. It's different from this. Okay. Maybe it hasn't been synced. Okay, forget it first. Okay, there might be some mistakes here because I corrected some of the mistakes first. Maybe I read your my here, please correct. Now, a précis is a brief, original summary of the important ideas given in a long selection. Okay, you should know the definition first. Its aims is to give the general effect created by the original selection. Now, usually for some people, just like your secretary, your boss asks you to summarize something for him. You need to give him or her the essential stuff only. Okay, it is a concise, and lucid, or expressed clearly summary that forsake all unnecessary details, including what? Including illustration, including amplifications or embellishments. Okay, they are all gone. Okay, all right, in favor of reproducing the logic, development, organization. Remember logic. Okay, development, the organization, and emphasis of the original. Okay, retaining the substance of a fuller statement. It seeks to articulate another author's thought. You want to use your own words. Remember, you must use your own words to articulate the thoughts, another author's thought, by extracting the maximum amount of information and carefully conveying it in a minimum number of words. Okay, that's why it's difficult. The purpose, why should we do something like that? Now, précis writing aims at intelligent reading and clear and accurate writing. It is a skill of both analysis and genesis. Okay, that genesis means something, you create something that critically questions every thought included and excluded. You think about it, why should I include this aspect? And why should I exclude some of the other stuff? Okay, each word used to express those thoughts and the proportion and arrangement of those thoughts, both in the original and in the précis. In its extraction, it mercilessly reveals an author's wordiness. What's wordiness? Yeah, too many words, just too wordy. Okay, and looseness, not carefully organized, or thinness. Okay, not really having a lot of ideas or thoughts and construction. It should strengthen our style and our sense of proportion and emphasis, and our sensitivity to word meanings and an author's viewpoint. This is the purpose. Okay.
Actually, how long should it take to complete the whole worksheet, like the one that I showed you?
20 minutes, I think.
Because
Or less.
it's like our exam.
Yeah, 20 minutes, 25. When I was taking HKCE, it was part of the reading passage, reading paper. Okay, so it was quite challenging at that time.
The teacher told us that she would give us 20 minutes to finish the whole thing.
That's why there are steps for you to follow. Okay, I'm sorry about this. I had no time to retype it because it was from a really old book. Okay, really old book. That's why it's like that. Now, essential of a précis. First of all, completeness. Okay, completeness. Now, the précis of a given paragraph should be the faithful representation of the faithful. Okay, it's not something of your own creation. Okay, you have to have a faithful representation of the ideas of the author in your own brief and simple language. Okay, now no material facts or points should be omitted. Whatever the author wants to convey should be brought out clearly, putting aside unessential details, superfluous, okay, phraseology, okay, and ambiguous verbosity, all the extra, illustration stuff should not be included.
So actually, the examples need to be included.
No need. Exclude them unless you think it is really necessary. Okay, the resulting narrative should give a sense of completeness. Okay, completeness. Okay, now compactness. Now all the ideas reproduced from the original given passage should form a compact whole. Okay, not a part of it. Now the words and sentences should convey a sense of unity with each other. Right. Oh, by the way, do you know the word abstract? What is it? No, sorry. Abstract as in this meaning. As a noun. A short written statement containing only the most important ideas in the speech. Abstract, usually, if you study at university, you always read a lot of academic papers. However, they're really long. That's why in the first page they usually have an abstract. However, abstract may contain some opening ideas, not all the details. But précis, you just from reading your précis, the essence of the passage is included. Okay, but that's why it's not an abstract. So compactness, ideas reproduced from the original given passage should form a compact whole. Okay, the words and sentences should convey a sense of unity with each other. Brevity, what's brevity? Short, okay, 精簡啊. The brevity is the essence of a good phrasing. It is achieved by the process of shifting essential from the unessential, by avoiding repetition and by omitting ornamental phrases and the like. But brevity should not be achieved at the cost of clarity. Understand? It must be clear, okay? And all the essential ideas of the author should be given clearly, but briefly and concisely. There should only be economy of words, but not of ideas. That's why the words, you should choose your words really wisely. Clarity. It is absolutely essential that one should impart clarity to what one writes. And it is particularly so in the case of précis writing. Otherwise, the very purpose of the précis will be defeated. Okay, that's why it should be clear. In day-to-day life, a précis or a short, concise gist is generally written for a person who has no time, who has not the time or occasion to go through the original. That's why you're writing this to your boss. Like that, okay? Therefore, the précis should be clear, unambiguous, okay, and brief presentation of all the essential ideas and main points of the original passage. To achieve that, one must himself clearly comprehend. You yourself, you understand it first, okay, the main ideas which the author wants to convey, and those should be faithfully passed on to the reader by the précis writer in his or her own simple, clear but brief language. Okay, that's why you can't copy. The coherence means attachment of one sentence to the other to form a connective and continuous narrative, thereby achieving a compact whole paragraph. The paragraph should not give an impression of a collection of this disjointed. What were disjointed? Just like not connected and jumbled, 溝埋一齊嘅 collection of sentence. It should be a well-connected whole. Okay. Also, the last aspect, logical and natural sequence. This means a reasonable and natural order of development of a narrative in which sentence and ideas follow one after the other in an unbroken chain. Now, one sentence should suggest the other, and so on. The process should continue till the close. The main theme should run through the sentence like a thread through the beads of a necklace. Okay, now thus this natural succession of sequence of sentences would impart a beautiful and logical coherent look to the exercise, an ideal which every praise writer should aspire and endeavor to achieve. Okay, next page.
Actually, can we like switch the order and writing the writing?
Say that again.
Switch the order of the writing, so maybe I write the topic sentence, perfect, paragraph 3, and then 2, and then 4.
It really depends on that passage. Understand? But I don't think it is a good idea unless the original passage is already jumbled up. The order is not in order. That you think, oh, it shouldn't be like that. Then you make your own judgment to change that. Okay, but that's not common. Okay, because I wouldn't think they would choose something like that for you to test you. Okay, now requirements. What are required? Number one, title. Okay, it is a must. Okay, now I think you have problem with your title, right? Okay, I think it's a bit simple. You think of the title of this writing, the one we went through last time. Okay, it is a must. Every piece of praise should be given a title, a heading, even when it has not been asked for. Now that title or heading is the praises of the praises, the praise of the praise. Okay, just like when I teach you reading, I told you all the times. I tell you all the time. The title carries a very condensed idea of the passage.
Like every time I write my title, the teacher says that, yeah, it's suitable, but then it's not interesting. I need to have a punch.
Yeah, but she may be a bit more demanding. Okay, because I think you need to at least know how to do the praisey, the body, praisey body first before you come up with a better heading. Okay, now a word or a phrase or even a short pretty sentence can be the heading. Now the given paragraph, if well studied and understood, would itself suggest the heading. The writer should locate the very word or key phrase. It would generally be found in the opening or closing sentence, but sometimes it may be somewhere in the middle. Okay, you try to find some interesting words as to be a part of your heading, of your title. The person, important. As a rule, praises should be written in the third person. Okay, third person, because you are trying to summarize that article. You, okay, even dialogues and speeches should be reported in third person. Okay, just like reported speech. Tense. Now, generally, the praise is written in the past tense, except in rare cases where the particular words used by the author of the original passage are of utmost importance. Then you use other tenses. And then form of speech. A praise is always in direct form of speech, except in very, very rare cases where full justice cannot be done to the author of the original passage without incorporating a few words in the praise in the original form. That's why you shouldn't copy. Okay, you need to use your own words to summarize the ideas. Name, unless it's necessary, really necessary. Yes, you can borrow words, but single words or something to use it, of course, because if say they want to talk about fuel, coal, power, then you have to use these words. Okay. There will be a practice. Don't worry. Okay. Length. Now, if the phrase writer is not required to adhere to a particular length or number of words in it, okay, if there is no word limit, the golden rule is to limit the praise to 1/3 of the length, 1/3 of the original passage given. Okay, hints. Okay, hints for it. Number one, these are the steps for you to follow. Number one, read the given passage carefully and try to understand it first without doing anything, just to go through it. You may have to read it several times to have a complete grasp of the subject matter. Now, do not do something like this. Say maybe after you have read the first paragraph, then you begin to do some preliminary work. No, you just go through the whole passage first. Totally understand the passage as a whole. Okay, before you do anything else. Now you may have to read several times to have a complete grasp of the subject matter. Do not start writing the praise unless you have understood the given passage well. Okay. Number two, mark out or underline the main theme of the given piece and its subordinate ideas. Okay, and arrange them according to their relative value, importance. That's why here, Priscilla, you can actually change. If you think the value of something is more important, you can bring this to the front. Okay, importance and sequence. Okay, number 3. Now make out a rough sketch or draft giving the main theme and all the ideas in the original passage. You can need to draft. Write some points in point form. What is the most? First of all, try to summarize the ideas into several points. Okay, in a coherent, continuous narrative form using your own simple language. The name of your rough draft should approximate to 1/3 of the original passage. Avoid all superfluous remarks, illustration, examples, quotation, etc. All these are unnecessary. Unless maybe, for example, I might give you one example. You're talking about Winston Churchill. You know who he is? Yao Ge-yi. He said Second World War. Yao Ge-yi. Yeah, you really don't know what I'm talking about. Churchill, the one who defeated Hitler. Okay, all right. Yao Ge-yi. And then he had a quote or something. And then maybe you can use it because it's important. For some others, just like, in the UK, the number of car users has been rising from that number to that number. No, there's no need to use this number. You just focus, yes, it's rising, but no need to give numbers. Okay.
Then what if I want to like quote a person that just doesn't have to be like reported speech of the reporter?
Yes, reported speech. As
It's already reported speech in like the passage.
then you don't need to say according. You don't. There's no need to say according to the passage. No, you just quote it. Yes, yes. And then yes, number 4. Do not give your personal comment or views. There's no need because it's not your work. Okay, your job. Just bear in mind, your job is to what? Is to write a summary for your teacher or for your boss. Okay, you are to be faithful to the author. Okay, just like you want to report his ideas or her ideas of the original passage and should only put forth what he wants to convey. Now, give your attempted précis a simple, concise, and well-connected form so that the reader may understand it easily. Last one, as already pointed out, the précis should be in indirect speech, third person, and past tense, unless, of course, a particular universal truth is to be necessarily expressed. Okay. So this is number 6. Number 6, opening sentence of a précis is always very important. This is like the topic sentence. Opening sentence. It indicates what is to follow. So be careful about it. Number 7, when you are required to write a précis of more than one paragraph, that's in some cases there could be more than one paragraph, apply all the rules to each paragraph. Okay. Now do not borrow high-flown, ambiguous words. Just some high-sounding words that you don't know. Okay. All right. And or phrases from the original passage. This is suicidal for a good précis. Use your own simple, concise, and idiomatic. Idiomatic means plain native English. Okay, English. Avoid spelling, punctuation, and grammatical mistakes. Okay, if you can. Okay. Number 9. Now revise. Now you need to revise your draft, keeping in view all the hints and requirement of a good précis given above. And lastly, never forget to give your précis a suitable title. That is a must. In a nutshell, all these points are to remind you. All these points are to remind you, just like pre-exam reminder. Okay, and exercise 1. You try. Now, there's no need for you to write the whole précis out, but I want them to be in points. Okay, in points. Try to summarize it in points. What are the important points? I give you 15 minutes, maybe less, but 15 first. Okay. Points. Basically, your points are already the précis. Okay. Luckily, there are many exercises for you to practice from this book. Many. Only to hurry, you grasp the meaning. And have you noticed there's some kind of just like illustration on it? Okay, what does it want to talk about? Is it yours? I want to tell something. The book is so old that when the writer was coming up with this exercise, nuclear power wasn't a thing at that time. He wanted to talk about nuclear power. Okay, we now have nuclear power station now, right? At that time, no. Okay, they didn't have that at that time. Do you know it's about nuclear power? Yes. No, Priscilla wanted to sleep. This is actually, I want to, this is actually very boring. Crazy. Because there's no room for your imagination, nothing. You need to actually see, and actually, your job is to see whether there are any sort of rubbish, clear out the rubbish, just get the main point. Okay, just like for example, if someone, you don't have to look at me, just like when someone giving a speech or something, okay, or having a talk, in many cases, just like it's just like many meaningless stuff. Okay, you just get rid of all the meaningless stuff. What does he or she want to talk about actually?
Actually, what is vision?
Because it's something to do with physics. I'm not totally sure. I think it's something to do核聚變、核裂變, that sort of thing. Sorry, I'm not 100% sure. Something to do with that. That's why uranium, you know uranium?
Something from the periodic table.
Yeah, but what is it for now? For nuclear weapon, a nuclear power station. And look at what happened in Japan. And then you can, after you finish, you can tell me your ideas. Anna, have you seen anything like this? No.
Yeah, I tried.
Okay. Wait for them first. Let me take a look first. The points. Basically okay. I'll show the answer later. Basically okay. You finished? The main point is do you know who Stephen Chow is? Tells him to. He actually, there was interview, BBC interview, interviewing him about more than 10 years ago. His English isn't bad. It's not he could speak in English. I still have one book that I used when I was a secondary student that I'm keeping here. I can't find it now. Okay. Okay. Now you take a look at the answer. Are you ready? Number one, power, which is dependent upon fuel, is needed for all industrial development. Personally, I wouldn't think this would be very necessary. Okay, it really depends on your point of view. The conventional type of fuel is not going to last for a very long time. That's why I don't think you need to put down 60 years. Okay, now there is enough stock of uranium and thorium in the world and a fissionable material, okay, which can serve as fuel for a very long time. It's extracted from it. Okay, the scientists are trying to find more efficient process for the use of fissionable material as fuel for industrial purposes. Okay, besides this, the energy that we get from sun can also be gathered and harnessed for our purposes. It is only the short-sighted people who think that there would be no source of power left for men sometime in future. So that's why I think basically you can get the gist. So either you know your problem. Okay, so this is Tracy, and then the actual Tracy. Now, power which is extracted from fuel is essential. The author broke it up in the two separate paragraphs. Is essential for all industrial development. The fear expressed is that conventional type of fuel is not going to last for a very long time. Fortunately, we have enough stock of uranium and thorium and all fissionable material, which is a great source of energy extracted from these elements. Okay, and then the scientists are busy finding some efficient process for the use of fissionable material for industrial purposes. The solar energy that we receive from the sun can also be gathered, harnessed, and used for our purposes. So the people who imagine that in foreseeable future, man will be left without any source of power, only display their short-sightedness. So which is about a third of the words. Excuse me. Suggest the title. Number one, power and man's needs. Second one, inexhaustible source of power. Okay, all right. So, do you have a more clear idea of how to do it now? Okay, better idea. Then that's a bit seriously that's subjective. That's subjective. It just like in my case, I think the first sentence is not necessary. Okay, it really subjective. Okay.
That's one of the passage I showed you. I tried leadership in history. What is history? And then historiography. The teacher was not happy with any of this. And then my hotbot friend tried like another 5, and then the teacher wasn't happy with any of it.
Maybe you can answer. Can you show us a sample?
Well, it's really subjective. You girls just have to make it interesting.
That's a very standard teacher's response from a school teacher's response. Okay, which is asking you, say, well, this is up to you. Okay, to come up with a good answers. Oh, okay.
Like, when I see a good answer, I will know that it's a good answer.
Okay, well, that's you should have said thank you. Well, thank you for letting me know. Yeah, it's really inspiring, you know. Okay, so we'll finish now. Don't forget to finish your writing. Really? Okay. I think you should be able to do it for writing.
Yeah, remind.
Okay. All right. Later. All right. I will see you next time then. Yeah, sure. Okay. Bye bye.